for the MSP programs here.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Monday, April 15th Town Board meeting. It's 7:02, and if you can notice the exits, there's two exits behind you, one to our left, your right, in case of an emergency, and if we can all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, he's right. He'll be good. Oh, I thought you said his mic's up. Yeah. I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everyone. First item on the agenda is to set the public hearing for the amendment of Chapter 57 of the Town Code. So we need a resolution to set that public hearing for May 6, 2019 at 7 p.m.
I'd like to make that motion for the amendment to 57 Town Code.
Okay?
I think everybody's been waiting for that.
Seconded by Councilman Scancarello. Any discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Okay.
When is that, May 6th?
May 6th. Yep, Monday, May 6th. Councilman McGinn will be here, just a little late this evening. Okay, next on the agenda, the clean sweep announcement. So clean sweep obviously is right around the corner. It's going to be April 27th from 8 to 12 at St. Anastasia parking lot. We're going to be cleaning up a few areas in the town and both the villages around the ponds. We're going to handle forest / Scunnamunk area.
Again.
Yep. Yep. So it's really going to go from St. Anastasia's all the way down to Airplane Park. We're going to be offering the Harron hooked up with the shredding services, and the e-recycling or electronic disposal is going to be run by our highway department. We have a proposal before us this evening too that we have to approve regarding that, and actually we were able to save it looks like about $1,600 it'll be on that.
That's good.
So good savings there. Okay, next up, I'd like to make a motion for the order the claims abstract 19-001 general fund checks totaling $370,891.35.
I'll make a motion to approve the audit of claims in the amount of $370,891.35.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Okay. Okay, Val does have minutes to approve. We had a little situation with not being able to upload the last meeting, and Val didn't realize that we were able to get her the disc because she was able to record the meetings off the disc. So she completed that Friday, working hard to get it done. So if you have seen the minutes, which I think everyone should have had a copy of, we need approval of those.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any changes, alterations, revisions, etc.?
I didn't see any.
Nope. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Okay. So moved. So, I'm going to get to you right now, Elijah, if you're okay with it, since you really should have been on new business because you were, I put you on the agenda last month not knowing, so come on up to the mic, just explain who you are, where you live, and what we're looking to do here.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Tony. I appreciate your support.
Yep.
My name is Elijah Oganyemi. I live at 10 Kennewood Road, Harriman, New York. We have a young ministry, which is like a church. We started in the city We relocated here about 3-4 years ago to the town of Monroe, and we had tried to set up a place of worship dedicated to Pentecostal fellowship, but also catered to serving the community of Monroe. One of the things that we wanted to do was to make sure that we can help young men just like me, being a role model for them, someone they can look up to, create leadership programs that can help students in school, create a support for even serving soup community, homeless shelter, but just be really effective in the community. But not only just cater to church, but to people from all walks of life. And that's our goal. So we wanted to use the town, the Journey Church where they were before, and we have brought it to your attention that we love the location. We think it will be a great place for us to worship. We know that the town of Monroe also has issues with drug related, and we wanted to find tools that can help just people in the community in general and serve and use that location.
Okay. How many, I know we've talked, I'm just going to ask questions
Sure.
so that the rest of the board knows. How many people are in your congregation?
So right now we are, it's almost like a startup, and we have about 5 board members currently. And then we have support from Calvary Church also. I'm not sure if everybody familiar with Calvary Church.
Yep.
They've been a great support system to us, in supporting us to as a startup church in whatever areas that we need. So even if we wanted to reach out to people in the community, they are all like our force. They really back us up until we can get back on our feet.
Okay. All right, and you're looking to use it for between 2 to 3 hours?
Yes, every Sunday.
Every
Yes.
Sunday.
And that can, the hours can go up as we grow.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We will as a board discuss price. I know you and I discussed
Yes.
price.
Yes.
And, I'll discuss it with them. Right now, the only hindrance that I see is the fact that Journey Church is not completed with their renovation over at Old Glory Mall.
Okay.
And the Etzkayim congregation is in the process of transferring out.
Okay.
So as soon as those are complete, as long as the board is, in favor of it,
Right.
we'll be able to provide you with the use of the
Space.
the celebration hall. We originally spoke about possibly doing downstairs, and
Right.
we had a change in our plans last week.
Right.
With the downstairs, so you'll be able to use that room.
Thank you.
Listen, I think that's where you want to be
Yes.
versus, yeah.
Yes. Thank
So,
you.
but everything hinges, like I said, on the other 2 congregations, moving out. Etzkayim is in the process of actually leasing our old town hall. So that's moving along, and I think they're going to take over as of May 1st in that space.
And do we know when Journey might be?
Journey, I think, is going to be done sometime in May.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're looking at, at the latest, maybe June,
Okay.
because Journey uses it on Sundays.
Right.
Now, if you wanted to use it and alter the time on Sundays, that's also a possibility too,
Okay.
until Journey's totally,
Right.
out.
Do you know what time Journey's done? Sunday.
I think they're gone sometime around 2 or 3 o'clock.
Okay.
It might even be earlier. I know when I was there, I was there yesterday.
Right.
And I got there about 4, and there was 1 person left. I don't know if they were cleaning up or what was going on. But,
We can alternate the hours till they leave. We just need to know when they're not in that building.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
so that could be a temporary move till they can move back to the morning hours.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Does anybody else have any questions?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm in favor of it,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank
see, I didn't think you'd get any opposition from us.
Thank you. No, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
You guys have been awesome.
And the only reason you're not getting opposition is because you have 2 very cute daughters. Daughters back there and a beautiful wife.
She's wonderful. She's wonderful too.
Don't be taking all the credit for it.
I'm not. That's why I put them. Exactly.
Smart man.
That works.
All right, thank you very much. We'll be in touch. All right, thanks for coming over. You're welcome. Bye-bye now. Bye, girls. You're welcome. Okay. All right, so we need a motion for the 2020 Community Block Grant to fulfill their requirement for a CDBG application. The town must pass a governing body fair housing resolution. And wait, I'm sorry, before I forget, Council Brian Nugent is going to be here a little later, and Alex Shaw is filling in for him. He's from the firm of Ferrick, Nugent McCarthy. So, okay, so the resolution regarding the town board, Town of Monroe, regarding fair housing, basically says that be it resolved that within available resources, the Town of Monroe will assist all persons who feel they have been discriminated against under one of the aforementioned categories to seek equity under federal and state laws by filing a complaint with the New York State Human Rights Law and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Be it further resolved that the Town of Monroe shall publicize this resolution, and through this publicity shall cause owners of real estate developers and builders to become aware of their respective responsibilities and rights to the federal fair housing law, the New York State Human Rights Law, and any local laws and ordinances. And be it further resolved that the town will at a minimum include, but not be limited to, 1, the printing and publicizing of this resolution, a fair housing public notice, and other applicable fair housing information through local media, community contacts, and placement on the municipal website and in other social media. 2, distribution of posters, flyers, and any other means which will bring to the attention of those affected the knowledge of their respective responsibilities and rights concerning equal opportunity in housing. And that would be approved this day, the 15th of April, 2019. So we would need a motion to approve that resolution.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay. Councilman McGinn has joined us. Thank you. Okay. Next up is the Clean Sweep proposal, which is from Advanced Recycling, who normally does it. Traditionally, they have a $3,000 charge for this day, which we have always paid for. And what we're doing this year is we're providing 2 highway employees for the 4 hours. And they will be transporting from St. Anastasia, the recycling, which is going to be in boxes that is provided by Advanced, transporting them back to the highway department, and then Advanced will pick them up at a later date the following week. So we need approval for the $1,000 cost from Advanced Recycling.
I'll make that motion.
I'd second that.
Seconded by Councilman McGinn. Cologne. Sorry.
Petros, huh?
Always taking second billing here.
There you go.
Seconded by Councilman Cologne. All right. Any discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, so moved. 16.3, the reduction.
Dial-a-bus.
Dial-a-bus. So, Ernst Iristal, we had a discussion with him, with the ridership kind of tailing off a little bit. The Dial-a-bus felt it was in the best interest to take him from full-time to part-time. We had a discussion with him. He was understanding of it. And that would begin effective Sunday, April 28th, 2019. So if the town board would like to discuss it and approve it or disapprove it, just let me know your thoughts.
is there a chance that once the ridership picks up, he would be again considered for the full-time position?
Yes, and he's been made aware of that.
I've gotten feedback from the community. A lot of people now appreciate the drop-off points to Crystal Run and up to Middletown as well. So I'm thinking that perhaps as the weather gets warm and things die down, there's not so much wind and rain and craziness out there. It may pick up. I think this is just a short-term thing. But I do
Listen, it
understand.
could pick up by the end of the month.
Yeah, I think it just may, but I got a lot of people saying how they really appreciated that, people can't drive for a myriad of reasons, and as we get older and older, it's a little bit more difficult for people to drive that far. So I think it'll pick up once the weather gets a little bit better.
Okay.
Was this done like on a seniority basis as far as he's the last full-timer in? Is that the...
Yes, he was the last full-timer in. We went through this with Dial-A-Bus and with Brian Nugent. We actually triple and quadruple checked everything.
Okay.
Because there was a situation where he did get approved the same night
Somebody else.
and prior to somebody else on the agenda. The only thing that he was only approved part-time at that point.
Oh.
The other person was approved full-time.
Full-time.
So then, 8 months later, he was approved full-time in August. He was approved at the end of December, part-time, and the other gentleman was approved full-time, and then Ernst was approved in August, full-time.
Okay. And the union is aware of this? And
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay, so, I'll make a motion to approve the reduction in hours to part-time for Dial-A-Bus driver Ernst Aristel, effective Sunday, April 28th, 2019, which is a result of loss in revenue from a reduction in Dial-A-Bus business.
Reluctantly, I'll have to second that.
Okay. Any other discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Sandra, aye.
Begin I.
Okay, so moved. Next on the agenda is the 2019 Lake Management Contract for Round Lake. We need an authorization for supervisor to sign it. It's pretty much the same as last year, with the exception of there are two areas on the lake. Let me get this right. The northeast side and the west side, which in the past have not been treated as heavily and have been the most problematic areas on the lake. After discussion with Solitude, and they had discussions with the DEC, they're able to treat those areas just as heavily as they can the other parts of the lake. Part of the reason one of the areas, the west side, wasn't treated heavily was because it's close to a wetland, but the DEC saw that there was a reduction in the wetland area, so that's what it was explained to me, so they're able to treat that side. And the other side, I think it was because of the actual depth of the water.
This is to prevent all that algae that you get.
Yes.
And that algae tends to drain all of the oxygen out of the water and kill all the fish, so I would,
Yeah, there are times where there's a fish kill there, where there'll be, hundreds of fish up on the shore because of it in the summer. It all,
so we,
like the perfect storm.
yeah, so I don't see why they would stop us, but, I get it with the, if it's part of the water supply.
And this is a cost borne by all the town residents.
By all the
It's,
town.
It's not a district. It's not
Right.
like Walled Lake. This is borne by all the residents.
Yes.
So the actual contract price is $18,885, and we received monthly invoices of $3,777 from April through August. They apply for all the permits, they take care of everything. We're usually notified, I think they give us 72 hours before they treat because we have to
We
lock
get,
down the dam.
we get notice before they treat and
Yep.
when the water is safe afterwards.
Yep.
So there's 2 signs that are put up on that, as I recall.
Okay.
So you want approval on that, or you just made
Yeah,
it?
no, I definitely.
I'd like to approve that then, Cologne will approve.
Second.
Okay. Then there are other management discussion and recommendations. So what I would like is, we got a little time for this, I believe, because they haven't filed for the permits yet. Well, they haven't got approval for the permits that they filed for. So there's, if you look on page 7, and then go all the way to 11, there's a couple of different additional treatments. Which I will speak to him about, but all these treatments are what we applied for the grant for.
The invasive
The invasive
species.
species grant, which we applied with the help of Choice Words. So, I mean, we can either approve those and, conditional on receiving the grant, or we can hold off on it. I think it would be wise to probably approve it conditional on
Pending.
receiving the grant.
Well, this way, if we approve it pending grant approval, at least it's already in the pipeline and should
Yeah.
get going, instead of waiting till another meeting.
Yep.
I see the wisdom in that.
So does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make that
I
motion.
guess this is what, 2 motions? It's one to approve the
One
contract
to
and
approve
one
the
to authorize you to
contract,
sign?
and the other, the options.
Now,
All right, so I'll make the
go ahead, no, make
So I'll make the motion that we approve the contract absent the grant.
For $18,885.
Right.
Okay,
I will second that.
okay.
And that's paid monthly, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
monthly $37.77. Okay, any other discussion? Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scanco, aye.
Begin, I.
Okay. Now we have the additional recommendations. So it's called a Rapid Response Grant Application Management Discussion and Recommendations portion of the proposal. So,
Do you have a total amount? I was trying to do a
well,
quick
there's a
addition
bunch
in
of,
my head.
there's a bunch of ranges.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I know the total amount of the grant was somewhere in the neighborhood of 56 to 60,000 that we applied for. So, I mean, there's, if you want us, we can title the different tasks if you want. So if someone would like to make a motion authorizing me to sign, provided we, receive grant money for it. Val, I'm gonna name the different tasks. So task 2 is the biological monitoring of aquatic vegetation survey. Task 3 is the bathymetric survey. Task 4 is water chestnut hand pulling. Task 5 is public signage for boat cleaning and invasive plant identification. Task 6 is the lake management plan draft. Task 7 is the 2020 preliminary permitting. And task 8 is public meeting section. So where essentially what that is Solitude will work with the town of Monroe to host a public meeting at a facility provided by the town, where they will do a PowerPoint presentation to review the lake management plan and proposed treatment for Round Lake. So, someone would like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to sign the the rapid response grant application management discussion and, discussion and recommendations, leave that out, pending the approval of the grant application.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Begin, aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, next on the item is the RFP for the planning board attorney. Alec, are you familiar?
Yes, Brian told me that. Yes, I am familiar with it, Brian, and I did speak about that, and he had no reservations to the RFP. I haven't personally reviewed it, but he
Okay.
had no reservations to it.
Okay, so essentially what this is we're requesting proposals for the planning board attorney. As everyone might know, Mike Donnelly is retiring after the month of May, from probably 90% of his work. He will be still retained by us for a litigation case that we have, but we're gonna need a new planning board attorney going forward. And that's the proposal in front of you. Bonnie is aware of it. She has essentially approved it. Worked with Brian to create it.
The RFP.
Yeah, the RFP. So we just need an approval to get it out. And then the issue date will be sometime this week, and the response date is May 1st, 2019.
All right, I'll approve that for the RFP to be put out this week, and with an end date of what, March? May 1st. May 1st.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Going to be missing a lot of knowledge there once he
Yeah,
retires.
exactly.
He's been around quite a while. Wish him all the best.
Yep. Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Begin, aye.
Okay, so moved. So I'm just gonna read also the resolution to authorize the issuance of a request for proposals to legal counsel. Therefore be it resolved, the whereas clauses are incorporated herein by reference. That was section 1. Section 2, the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to facilitate the issuance of a request for proposals substantially in the form presented to the town board and to set appropriate dates for responses for such requests for proposals. Section 3, any other town official or employee as directed by the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to take any necessary and appropriate actions to carry out the provisions of this resolution. Section 4, this resolution shall be effective immediately. Okay. So that's essentially what we just passed.
Call the question.
What's that?
Do we call the question on that?
Alex, should we call the question after I read that part of the resolution?
Well, you already did the vote part
Yeah.
of it, so I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, just checking.
all right. Thank you. All right, so moved. Okay, item 6.6, cost analysis of town water districts. Mary Bingham.
Okay, I gave the board members a cost analysis of the water districts. Monroe is unique because some of the water districts, Districts 1, 7, 8, and 10, don't have their own wells. They get their water from the village of Monroe. They get charged $10, I believe, per
Per thousand.
1,000 gallons. And unfortunately, there have been 2 tank refills that had to be done for Water District 8 because of Board of Health regulations, and that district is in the negative, almost $80,000. It's $79,712.04. And that was just up to the third quarter. Helen is doing the current quarter, so that number may be higher. I don't have, as I said, when this analysis was done, it was as of the third quarter. So then the other districts, 2, 12, and 14, have their own wells, And as you know, 12 has a problem because it's had some major repairs, and we had about 300 feet of water line replaced. And even though our auditors said they had 249,000 for the pump house, I believe that was just for the water line that was replaced. So I need a little direction from the town board. Should we think about raising rates, because that will be an adjustment again to the fee schedule, since the town board can set the rates. I also had an email from Helen saying that the districts only paid $10 per quarter per user for maintenance. So we can also adjust those fees a little bit, but I just need a little direction from the board as to, I'm assuming the larger fees, we're going to have to think about bonding, and the smaller one, like District, is it number 1? It's $254. They're in the negative. That might be just offset with a little bit of a change into their user fees. So I just want a little direction from the board. Also, in addition, Sean Arnott had a water district analysis report, which I believe will be delivered to the supervisor in the next day or two, and that will give us more of an indication of what type of projected improvements need to be done for some of these districts. So if, let's say, another district needs a compressor tank, and that's $10,000, maybe we should start budgeting for those things now, instead of waiting until the very end. So just want a little direction from the board.
Okay, couple things. So Water District 8 has a $35 maintenance fee. The other ones have a $10 maintenance fee.
Right,
And then Water District 12 has no maintenance fee.
Yeah, which I find that very hard to believe.
I don't know how they did that.
Yeah,
With the numbers that you already have over there, I don't think the maintenance fee is going to make much of a difference at this point.
right. Well, that's why I said I think for that larger amount, we definitely need to look into bonding. And
Yeah.
I think many years ago, there was some initial paperwork started on the bonding. So, I can definitely work with Helen in the next couple of days and try to see if we can find that, if it ever was published for a bond or not.
Now, the maintenance fees are quarterly, Mary?
Yes,
Yes,
quarterly.
Okay. And so they run the gamut from 10 to 35?
Yeah, and most of them are $10.
Yeah, I think that's something we have to look at, because listen, all these districts are old. and
They're
they
gonna need
work.
some kind of
You know,
work.
Listen, I'm in one, we're sitting pretty right now with 254, but I know that's, the block
You-
house
you need some
is a
work.
mess.
Yes.
So-
One of the compressor tanks, I believe, needs
Yeah,
to be.
it's got a hole
yeah,
in it. and-
Yeah.
so.
So, yeah, we don't
Slowly.
want to wake up one morning and then you have no tank whatsoever, and we have
Yeah.
no money whatsoever, and then you'll be matching 12 in no time at
Right.
all.
All right. I guess, if you speak with Helen, then we can, I guess as a board, come up with maybe at least looking at the maintenance schedules. I mean, the
Okay.
village water is
Set by the village.
it's set by the village and is a kind of high to begin with.
Yes. Maybe we would like to ask the supervisor to reach out to the village.
Seems high.
Yeah.
It's $10.88 per
Yeah,
thousand.
Per thousand.
Right.
That's something would definitely have to be an IMA with the village. We have, we have some kind of IMA with them for all the water districts.
Yeah.
So if that comes up in negotiation, maybe at that time it could be addressed. I don't think we have to necessarily do it, in the next day or two. But when that IMA comes up again, that could be addressed at that point.
Yeah, I think when we met, were you at that meeting?
Yeah.
Right? I thought Neil said he was going to try to condense everything into.
Yes, to make it one IMA instead of 5 individual ones.
Yeah,
Right.
so, and then the other thing is, since Water District 14 is not an
Unofficial.
official district, those residents get charged $151.99 per quarter. That's their rate,
It's a flat rate, no
Flat
maintenance fee?
Flat rate,
flat rate.
I think it had something to do with the comptroller's office set a rate. I'm also reaching out to the comptroller's office.
Yeah,
to
you
try to
can't
get
go
some-
higher than, I think,
Yeah,
152.
that initial rate, yeah.
Yeah.
So, if there's some kind of way to wiggle around that, like I said, I'm doing a little more research into it, but for right now, that's my understanding. Whatever that rate is that the comptroller set, that's it.
Yeah, and when you get that report from Sean, which I know they've been working on that for a long time.
Yes.
We'll have a good idea where we stand with all these districts, you know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mary.
Thanks,
Thank
Mayor.
you for your
Thank you.
hard
Thank you.
work there, appreciate it. Okay. We go into old business. So, this is a bond resolution for Water District 12, which we have to approve the town clerk to sign, I believe.
Right. Reason is, the state is very particular as to which order these bond resolutions are passed. You have to pass your secret resolution and then the bond resolution. When this was originally done, the state didn't like our secret resolution, so they kicked it back. So even though we passed the bond resolution, since they didn't like our secret resolution, you can't switch the order of the two.
You have to
So
go
now
back to
that we
square one.
finally got the secret resolution to the way the state wants it, we have to redo this bond resolution so we can have everything in their sequence of events.
All right.
All right.
So
So somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept this bond resolution as presented
For 1.5 million.
For Water District 12.
for Water
Water
District 12. I'm
District 12.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Officially titled Bond Resolution Improvement of Facilities, Water District 12, from Jacobowitz and Gubitz
I'll second that.
Bond Council.
Any other discussion? If we just add the fact that it's 1.5 million. For the
Do
improvement.
you want to do?
I said that
Yeah.
one, 1.5.
Yeah, Rick said it, I just didn't know if Val got that.
I got it, thank you.
Okay. Any
She's
other-
signing, she better have gotten it.
Any other discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Kangaroo, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay. Mikvah Yisrael, I believe Isaac is supposed to be here, and I know that Mr. Nugent and I had a discussion on this today, so I would like to hold that off and go right to public comment, if that works for everyone.
Would you like to do me first, Tony, or?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, John, absolutely.
Thank you.
John, you gotta stay to the end. What is
You
it?
just, are we passing on 7.2 right now, or?
We did it, he was up here.
Oh, he was, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Okay.
he was up.
I know, I was late.
Yeah, no, that's all right, sorry, I moved him up because he has kids with him, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the gentleman when he
Yeah.
was walking out the door. So,
Go ahead, John, sorry.
All right, thank you. So anyway, as Supervisor Cardone knows, we have some equipment issues going on. Good news is, we had a, 1989 International Tandem that I was gonna have to put a cab on. Turns out that we had a couple talented guys there that was able to re-support that cab and get that thing back on the road for us, and saved us about $50,000 there. So that's a nice little nut to crack, so to speak. With that being said, we do have a 1988 Bomag roller.
What year was that, John?
1988, I believe. 88 or
1988.
89, right now, Paul. It's about a 30-year-old machine. We definitely got our money's worth out of that machine. It turns out there's two different brakes on that machine for each drum. So it's a double drum roller, and the brakes are a hydraulic style motor brake.
Right after they got through with the stick, the wheel.
Parts for that machine are made in Germany, which I was willing to go over there to check them out. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out either. We would have needed two of those at $8,415 a piece. So that would have been $16,800.
Did that include shipping and handling? from
No.
Germany?
No, that's why he was gonna go over.
Nor did it
everything.
include putting them
That's a
on
great
and
job.
all that stuff. So,
Wow.
I mean, it would have been a time-consuming process plus a lot of
And
money.
expensive, yeah? 20.
So I ended up going out to get 3 quotes. The first quote I got was from Case. That was at $39,750. The second quote was a Ham roller, H-A-M-M. That was at $35,956. And the third one was the Caterpillar roller, the same style that the village has, and that was, if I can find it, give me 1 second, $26,500. So, I would like to see the town board, give me some money for a roller that we desperately need. $26,500.
That's the Caterpillar.
That is the
That's good.
Caterpillar, yes.
And actually, it's not much more than what it would cost to repair the old one.
Basically.
You think
Okay.
we'll get 30 years out of it?
Boy, I hope so. I mean,
It's made in America.
You can't, yeah, I mean, that
Caterpillar.
Bomag roller was a good roller for 30 years. You can't
That's a
beat that.
Caterpillar too, John?
This is a Caterpillar,
Cat,
the
yeah.
lowest bid is a Caterpillar, which is
I'm
actually
surprised.
surprising
As
too,
far-
the cases usually.
But as far as service, who's the closest around to service?
H.O. Penn is where the cat comes from.
That's Middletown?
No, that's across the bridge there, Beacon, I believe. in
Oh, is it?
or something like that.
Isn't there one in Middletown too, in H.O. Penn, or is that?
It goes closer to Newburgh, wasn't it? No, that's the guy that does in
I think
Newburgh.
there's an H.O. Penn in Middletown.
Yeah, he don't have his address on there, so I can't tell you. It might be Middletown.
26.5.
So,
Is there money in our budget right now?
there's
for
money in contingency for it?
Contingency?
Yeah, we have $85,000 in contingency. So, I mean, we could take it out of there. He has, I think you have some money in one of the equipment lines.
Yeah, we have some money floating around there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to give account numbers tonight, so, I guess we could improve the dollar amounts taken out of contingency and a portion out of your equipment line. And then I could get those, I apologize, I had it on my desk and I forgot to take the budget with me. So, you have it, man? Ah, you're right, spot on, Mary. Thank you. Okay, so the contingency account is A0001990-0000-00. And then so how about we do this, John? Well, you know what, John, you have, I didn't realize you had that much.
Well, that's at the beginning of the year. I don't know what it is now.
That's
Yeah, I don't think we
first-
took anything out of your contingency account yet.
No.
All right, so how about
Shouldn't have.
how about we do that? How about we just take it out of your contingency account, and then if there's anything else needed, we'll take it out of. So disregard that last, well, you could keep the same numbers there, only in front of it, just put DA. Valerie. So it's DA 001990-0000-00. And what was the amount for that, John?
26,500.
26,500. Okay.
All right. I'll make a motion that we take 26,500 out of the account number that Supervisor Cologne just read, DA 0019, et cetera, et cetera.
You mean Cardone,
Oh, what did I say?
Cologne.
Oh. Sorry.
It's all right.
I'll second.
Okay, so moved.
And I just
You want to call the question?
call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scarecrow, aye.
Again,
Okay, so moved.
With that being said, I do have a few things for surplus here.
Hey, before you go any further, I just want to thank the Village of Monroe, because they're actually
Yes.
allowing us to use their roller
Yes.
for the time being.
Yep, we had a couple spots we had to
Thank
use
you,
the
Larry.
heavier roller on. The village loaned us that, which they do quite a bit.
Yeah,
Just like we'll loan them the paver if they need that, and so on and so forth. Village of Harriman offered their excavator to one day for the park for season. So it works out very well working together like that.
good.
But, yep, very helpful, for sure. A couple things on surplus list here. Of course, 1988 Bomag roller, 130AD would be the model number of that. And I have that light tower that's out front by the bins there. We do not need that, never used it that I know of. I think we used it maybe once at Museum Village years ago, but that's it. That's specialty lighting is the only name I can get off the machine itself. It's pretty old. It's an old light tower / generator. And 2 Cushman mowers. One was the buildings and grounds, they were using that. And the one we have that's just, they're getting old. Actually, we bought them,
They're both over 25 years old.
we bought them off the Village of Harriman, and I'm gonna say 15 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
And I'm gonna say maybe 500 apiece for them, so
Wow.
we got our monies out of that bit, and them mowers as well.
Yeah. So we just, in addition to that, we just bought a new Skag, 61-inch deck, which was $9,700 and change, which was delivered last week. And then there was a small Toro riding mower that the Temple had that they just gave to us. So, I think we got enough mowers right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put them on Auctions International and see what happens,
Yeah, all right,
and go from there.
all right, thank you, John.
I don't know if you have to approve it.
Do we need to make a
We need
motion?
to, we have to make a motion on the surplus.
On the surplus, right.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we take the BOMAG, the light tower, and the 2 Cushman mowers out for surplus.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
so moved. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Okay, so we're gonna go over to public comment.
Tom Lapola.
What's that?
Where did the crowds go?
You were here last week. Oh, not last week, week
Busy,
before.
yeah. Hi, good evening. Tom Lapola, Village and Town of Monroe. I'll be brief. Regarding the new annexation proposal, I've been reminded on a few occasions by members of this board that 83% of Monroe residents who voted in favor of Palm Tree. In essence, a mandate on the UMKJ agreement, a mandate. Big part of that agreement was the no annexations clause for 10 years. So without commenting here on the merits or lack thereof of the new annexation proposal, I respectfully petition my representatives to honor the will of the majority and vote against this annexation request. The political group that structured this agreement will not pursue it legally, but they're accountable to no one. This board, though, is accountable to the 83% who voted in favor of that new town, as well as the other 17% as well. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
John Allegro.
Thank you, John Allegro, Monroe, New York. I'm gonna say something that I never thought I'd hear myself say. A couple of weeks ago, I took my daughter to the movies at the Monroe Theater, and we had a great time. The theater was very clean. The concession stand, they had made some changes, and they made some changes with the way that you get soda and all that. And I'll tell you, two adult tickets, large popcorn, a large soda. I mean, I spent maybe $35. It was a great deal. And looking forward to, my whole family, we're looking forward to the upcoming changes to the theater, especially the recliner seats, which I think is going to be a great asset. So, I wanted to thank the board for hanging in there and hiring the consultant who helped bring us all a deal that turned the theater from a $400,000 a year albatross to something that I think minimum is going to be revenue neutral, and there's a possibility to bring added revenue into the town as the theater operations pick up even more. So thanks to the board, and thanks to Councilman McGinn and Councilman Scancarello for really being the leaders behind that theater and business development in the town. The other thing I wanted to say was, I'm sure a lot of people know that I'm on Facebook a lot. And someone had mentioned about the unfortunate, on one of the pages mentioned about the unfortunate dumping on the Monroe side of Seven Springs Road. And since Mr. Sherney has been the highway superintendent, he's really done a great job following through. and persuading the owner of the property to remove the debris. And it's really unfortunate because the property owner isn't saying, hey, guys, come and dump on my property, but that person or whoever, company, whoever it is responsible for keeping the property clear of debris. And within, I'd say, 24 hours, Mr. Sherney came onto that page and said to everyone, hey, you know, we have a way figured out between the supervisor and myself to get that debris removed, and it's going to be not at any extra added expense to the town. So, Rick and Mary, I'll find nice things to say about you next time. But thank you all for, you know, doing a great job with the theater and really following through and making this government work. It's a very, very big change to what we witnessed 5-6 years ago. So I appreciate it, and I'm sure a lot of other people do. Thanks.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Jim Rogers.
Good evening, Jim Rogers, town resident. Do you know the amount of the bond, District 12, what the bond is going to be roughly?
I'll wait till the end.
Yeah, we'll wait till the end. We'll wait till the end. We know what it is.
Yeah, but does the public know what it is?
We tell you after
We'll tell you,
the
yeah.
public comment.
We don't want to go back and
Yeah,
forth.
well,
Oh.
yeah. When we're done, we'll comment on all the different questions and we'll
Okay,
state
can I
the
comment
amount.
after that then?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
Mike Goldstein.
Good evening, Mike Goldstein, resident of town and the village. Gentlemen, you can keep your powder dry tonight. I would like to make a suggestion for Channel 22 that we have a schedule on there as to when the various tapings will be viewed. I wanted to look at the first town board meeting in April, and I couldn't find it on television, nor could I find it on the website as being listed. It's not there yet? Okay. But that would be helpful so that I'd know when to look. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ward Brower.
Ward Brower, private citizen. Just question in regards to Chapter 57. What exactly are we talking about? Could you enlighten a little bit more in the minutes here or the agenda? Chapter 57 is a big issue. And again, I was curious what happened to the April 1st meeting. It wasn't on there. We were playing March 4th meeting. Oh, what happened there? Thank you.
That's all for public comment.
Okay. With respect to the meeting, we've had an issue with our server, and we are working with New Windsor, since there's the possibility of an overload, that we don't want to download anything that's going to cause the servers or any hard drives to crash. So thus the reason for it not being on there. You guys are welcome to call my office anytime and ask that question rather than bringing it up at a meeting. However you want to do it. Doesn't matter to me. With respect to Seven Springs, John and I were out there actually 1 to 2 weeks ago, knowing what was going on out there. We surveyed it, and between the toilet, 3 couches, spackle buckets, aluminum siding, TV, it's a disgrace. And we met this morning with KJ's Highway Superintendent, Zalman Stern, came up with a plan whereby we feel they're going to be paying the bulk of what's going on over there to clean it up. Because it's just, we feel most of that stuff is being dumped by contractors who are either working in KJ or are cleaning out homes that are being bought in the area, and they're just dumping things up there, because there's no reason for it. Now, aside from the fact that there's cups, cans of oil, and other types of garbage on that road. It's disgusting. It's a disgrace. I don't know how people live like that. You know, unfortunately, part of the main concern over there was that it was our road, that we had to clean it up rather than worrying about their own community. So, anything else you gotta add, John?
I think Zolman's gonna have his crew actually picking the small stuff up within the next couple days, and then I think they're gonna wait till after Passover for the big stuff. But that's where we're at now.
Great.
Just how do we maintain that moving forward is,
Well, we suggested cameras up
Cameras.
there. I mean, they do have a pretty good surveillance system for their village, or for Palm Tree, I should say. The fact of the matter is getting the electric up top by the Gonzaga area and having a camera by the Redwood area, and, you know, if you pick up there going in full and coming out empty, you know, something's happening.
You know, we can talk about this kind of sidebar, but I know, and I just recently saw it because they had a big trade show out west in Vegas. I know they make these kind of like the deer cams, but they're made more for these types of instances, applications, yes, and are battery powered and use solar during the day to charge up and stuff like that. So that might be something we'll have to look into, because we got to get some plates on these vehicles that are doing it and go after them legally. You know, I think once you start nailing a few of them, then it will definitely come to a stop. So that's something we can talk about. You know.
Yeah, I believe you do have a $10,000 fine in certain areas as well. And,
yeah.
You know, but that doesn't do no good unless it's enforced. I mean,
Right.
Unless you catch them.
Unless you catch them.
Right. And I think, we'll have to explore some of those ways to do that, other than sitting in the woods in camo waiting for them to do it, you know?
Rick's retired. He-
got a tent,
Thanks,
little
thanks.
tent, Rick, and we put you out there.
Yeah, full camo, babe. I'm gonna need a flak jacket. Can I get that too?
That was all I had. Anybody else want to add anything? Oh, wait,
Mr. Rogers had the
yeah.
questions about the bond.
go ahead, Mary.
Water District 12, for the WIA grant, it's 1.5 million. The other bond that I think was done many years ago, that seems to have fallen through the cracks, that was approximately $250,000. That goes back to when Jack Sherry was the water operator, and he replaced approximately 300 feet of water main.
It was back in 2011.
Jim, were you looking for the fund balance numbers?
No, I just want to know, that was for capital improvements.
That was for capital improvements. So,
Does that include the payback to the general?
no, so going forward, it's a little over $268,000 that Water District 12 is in debt for. And Mary and I had a brief conversation that we were probably going to have to bond that too before the year's out. I shouldn't say probably, we do have to by state law. So, and then Water District 14 is about $520,000. But Water District 14 is not an official district yet, so we have to wait until that comes to fruition before we can do anything with that.
You know, I could have sworn that we started the bond process for the debt back when Martin was the controller. Because I could have sworn that we started it,
2011 maybe, 12?
No, this is after we were on the...
On the board, so it had to be-
So here's what happened with that. There were numerous districts that we were banning with a bond and anticipation note.
Right.
We just re-upped on one last week for $343,000 in Water District 8. I'm sorry.
14.
$310,500 because we paid down $32,500. So that was for Water District 8. So, I mean, I don't know if you're confusing that with what we're talking about here.
Yeah. No, I just thought we had started the process with 12, but I could be wrong. It's happened before.
I don't think we started the bonding process for 12.
Yeah. All right, no, listen,
It was a while back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
back in the
it fell
minutes.
through the cracks, and it has to be redone anyway. That's the bottom
It does,
line.
yeah.
My question was, last year, I brought this up about District 12, about the general fund payback. And long ago, it was in the neighborhood, I brought it up, it was in the neighborhood of $500,000, District 12. No one on the board disputed that at the time. So then how does it become now 258,000? That's what I want to know.
Okay, I will tell you this, that Helen and I went through the entire ledger, okay? And without throwing somebody under the bus, counting that was done in there prior to last year was absolutely a disgrace, and there were ins and outs that caused us to wonder where it went. It was found out. It was just not done correctly. And when I say not done correctly, credits and debits in the account. So it looked like there was 500 and change in there. Now, last year when we checked, I think it was over 300,000 and change in there, but it's not anything that I see that was.
Okay, because when I was on the board, I got off in 2012, that was 7 years ago. It was up near the 500,000 from what it was. Now,
I'm not disagreeing with you, but all I know is that.
As telling the truth now, if you came up with 258, that's fine and dandy.
68.
I just want to know in the future that, people that aren't in a benefit district, the general fund is not paying for water district. I'm not in a sewer district, I don't want to pay for that. I'm not in a water district, I don't want to pay for that. And if that's the number, that's fine.
I totally am in agreement with you,
Okay.
but all I can tell you is I'll ask Helen, we'll go back another few years, because I think we went back 5 years to make sure everything was copacetic with the account. But I just found out at the last Association of Towns in February that you're required by New York State that any outstanding deficit is supposed to be bonded within a year. So you could blame those boards going back to 2010, 2012 for not bonding it too.
Way back.
You can go way back. So we're just trying to get a handle on it, and we're just trying to work to get it so that we're in compliance.
Okay.
Because, our accountants have told us as well. You got to get that bonded.
I trust the board, and as long as that's the number,
Yeah.
and it's paid back, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Are you done, Mary, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Just, Mr. LaPola, appreciate your comments. We expect that, litigation will probably arise from this. So I'll take a pass on saying anything, just to not have us, put in a corner with that, if that should come to pass, so.
Again.
But thank you for your comments, and we certainly understand your, feelings about that. Mr. Allegro, thank you for your kind comments on the theater and, the support, but it is a team effort. We all work together with the theater to kind of get to where we were, and it took. I know this podium's killing me because I'm like looking around like I'm using it for cover and concealment. So yeah, we appreciate it, but yeah, it is a total effort, and we all kicked around the numbers and everything, and came to an agreement on that, and it has worked out great. And I'm looking forward to when they start putting the theaters online with the recliners. And I think that's really gonna really have a big effect on their numbers. I think this month we got the report, and they had their best month ever. And they've already surpassed, and since they've been operating since October, they've already surpassed where they were last year. So, the last time the town had it for a full year. So those are good news and good numbers, and it's good for the people here in town.
It's obvious they know what they're doing there.
Yeah, they're pros. They are great at what they do. There's no doubt about it. Mr. Goldstein, that's a great idea about the schedule and having that schedule on the website. And I think once we straighten out these server issues, we'll try to get that squared away. Because I've heard the same complaint people put on. It's either the same school board meeting but that's because of these server issues and moving out of the theater where they had it and back into town hall. So, and we'll try to get that up there. A lot of people want to see the first meeting in April for a variety of reasons. So So,
I wanted to see it.
and I wasn't here for the public hearing on the Chapter 57, so,
No, we just set the public hearing.
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I wasn't here for the setting the date, and Mr. Brower, that's going to encompass a couple of different changes to Chapter 57, zoning changes, but those changes will be out for the public to read and see and go through the entire process. One of them is one of the things that you've brought up about the acre and builder's acre versus actual, and there's some other zoning changes, so we just don't have the language to put out there yet, so, but it will be there, so. And that's all I got.
Sal?
John, real quick, thank you for the positive comments. Much appreciated. It is a team effort. This board works hard. Supervisor, 6 in the morning to 6 at night, and see all the time his hands there. This board is working hard, and we all have a common goal here, so appreciate the comment. Thank you.
I can say something?
Rick, Mary?
Oh, okay. Just one last point, John. What difference does this team make? When the theater was purchased, the original intent was to lease it out. But somehow, another team decided that it would be better to spend almost $400,000 a year on this. So when you get like minds that think together and we think all together and we coordinate a lot of things with each other throughout the week, there's always benefits. And it's not that we agree on every single item, but at the end of the day, we work things out, and things run a heck of a lot smoother since I've been on this board. And I can't thank the rest of the members on this board enough for all of their efforts, because it is truly a team effort. Everything we do. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary?
I spoke a little bit already. I don't really need to add anything. Everybody's summarized things very well this evening.
Okay. No other public comment? Alec, so, 7.3 Mikveh Yisrael, regarding the authorization of my signing a license agreement.
Yes.
Was on hold. So we were waiting for Department of Health approval on it, which we have received. Do we have to go into executive session for this, or can we just move forward and?
No, I spoke to Brian about it before the meeting, and the only concern he had was about a TP 584 form, since it's not really a real estate holding, it's a license agreement. He didn't think it was necessary, but other than that, he didn't have any issues with the agreement.
Yeah, he had spoken about, because he had emailed me about that later.
Yeah, so other than that, he didn't have anything else that he thought was a concern at this point.
Okay.
So if you want to move forward, you can, and the only thing I would suggest is if you want, you can make it subject to review by council if you want to
Okay.
just have a cover.
All right, just somebody would need to make a motion. Somebody from the town council? would need to make a motion.
Well, can you just, they wanted to add the water line? Is that why we need to go with this
So-
license agreement?
yeah,
Is that the
so-
only thing?
So here's what happened with this. So the girls' school provided the mikveh with a tap into their line.
Originally for the sewer. Originally, that was a sewer.
Yeah, but no, this is for the water.
For the water,
But now-
and
but
what
now
about
they want to
sewer?
do the water.
Well, they already did it. They already tapped in.
Oh,
They didn't go to the planning board. So then the planning board was made aware of it. They went to the Department of Health. Department of Health gave them approval. I had spoken to Mike Donnelly on it because I had what I thought would be a conflict of interest issue, and Brian I spoke to on it, for the applicant's engineer, who is WSP, which has also acquired Lewis Berger. So WSP is becoming for the board. We actually hired Lewis Berger for the all my litigation. So Brian said, in the context of what this is, of what's happening here, everything was in place prior to, so it seemed okay with it. So they got their approval from the Department of Health. Mike Donnelly said the Department of Health approved it. There's really not a lot you can do other than the license agreement for the right-of-way, so to speak, so. And it is a right-of-way, right, Alan?
It's a license, and by having a TP 584, which is what they had proposed, they characterize it as an easement, which is what we want to avoid. We want to call it just a license.
Okay.
Nothing more than that.
Okay. All right, so we still have to approve it based on the Department of Health and the actual license agreement.
We have to approve it at this point.
Okay.
All right, if you want,
Okay, then I'll make a motion that we authorize the town supervisor, Mr. Cardone, to sign the revocable license agreement with, I guess it's Mikveh
Hendel.
Hendel Miriam of Congregation Yetev Lev de Satmar KJ.
And I'll second that. Cologne, a second.
Seconded by Cologne. Any other discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay. Any other business? No? Nope. So I make a motion to adjourn at 8:13.
Are you not going to attorney-client? Nothing to do?
No, there's really nothing to do, attorney
Oh,
client.
wait, don't we have personnel? Those two things?
One part-time to full-time to full-time.
We have a conference call with them and
Yeah.
I mean, the only,
She wants some kind of.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
so like tax breaks.
Elderly payments.
Yeah, all right, so yeah, we have to go into executive session for a couple of personnel items.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion, we go to executive session for, I withdraw that previous motion, make a motion, we go into executive session for personnel.
Cologne, a second.
Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, so moved.
Is that funny or
That is, yeah.
Was it really?
I thought she was here.
Oh my God, please. Thankfully not.
Okay, make a motion to come out of executive session and into our regular session.
I'll make that motion. Cologne, aye.
Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, so moved. I'd like to make a motion to advertise for a part-time position in the finance office.
I'll second that motion.
Okay? Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye. Do we have to put anything else in there, you know?
No, it's just a
I don't think
position.
so, because we have to talk to civil service, get the
Okay.
correct information on it.
All right, gotcha.
Okay. Brian, you want to read that motion on
Consultants agreement?
the consultants agreement?
So the proposed motion would be a motion to authorize supervisor to sign a consultant agreement with Rick Beams to train existing town water department employees until they obtain their water operator certification at a rate of $28.75 an hour for at least 6 months and not longer than 1 year.
Okay.
That would be upon his retirement.
Yes, effective after his retirement.
So who's making that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Too late.
I'll make that motion.
you are the water woman, so yes, please.
You'll second it, Mike?
Yes, I'll second it.
Okay, any other discussion? Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, so move.
And I'd like to make a
Yep.
motion for, to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with O'Connor Davies for up to $29,000 for audit services.
I'll second.
Who's second?
Sal Scancarello will.
So, okay.
Councilman
Second.
Scancarello.
Any other discussion? Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, I believe that's it. There's no other business. I will make a motion to adjourn at 9:05.
Amazing, I'll second that.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay.